Here we go. And we're back. Episode 64 with our very special guest, comic Clay Newman.
Clay
Hello.
fucking Newman.
My first time meeting you, Clay.
Yeah, nice to meet you, bud.
So far, great guy.
I feel like
Having a good
5
time.
minutes in, you
we're
guys seem like
talking.
you're
Yeah,
about
we're,
it, yeah.
we're already talking before the podcast. You know, shooting the shit, talking about
like
stuff.
the same people, dislike the same people.
Yeah.
We're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess like, where did you come from? How did you get here? Are you from California? Did you move to California?
Oh yeah.
How long have you been a
Quick bio.
comic? You know,
60-second bio.
I like literally have never lived more than 10 miles from the 101, but I have been all over California.
Okay.
So, grew up in Ventura, went to college in San Francisco, and just managed to keep finding cheap rent somehow. So I stuck around
Sweet.
there for a bit. That's where I started comedy.
Yeah.
So San Francisco Punchline.
You never
like,
tell by the colors that you're wearing, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. As
Do you
close
like
to
the
being a
Giants
fan.
by chance?
Hey man, I'm
Yeah.
excited about Willie Adames. I gotta show you. You guys get Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the world. I have to be like a slightly power hitting shortstop.
Dude, but you guys had a
Hooray.
fucking unstoppable team for years. I mean, like
Oh, that
one of
was
the first
beautiful.
times I went up to San Francisco to do stand up, I couldn't get tickets because I wanted to go to this like the Giants Stadium and shit like that because it's such a fucking beautiful ballpark.
Mhm.
And then I ended up going to an A's game, and that is a fucking turd. I mean, luckily
Oh,
they're
yeah.
fucking tearing that stadium down where they're moving them out of the state and shit. But dude, that was like, I ended up going a couple years later to Giants, like, you know, I forgot the name of the fucking park is, but beautiful. And the only way you'd think me more like beautiful if it was like if Golden Gate Bridge was in the background. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you have the
Bridge
bay.
is okay.
Yeah, it's all
fine.
right, but it's not like the most iconic fucking bridge
Yeah,
that you have up there. But
exactly.
there's like boats going on in the background. There's like a fucking sun was setting. It was
Oh.
fucking like super beautiful.
It's sweet, man. I wish
Yeah.
they didn't build it specifically for Barry Bonds. It might make it a little bit easier to. Like, I don't think they've had somebody hit close to 30 home runs since Barry retired.
No
but
shit.
Really?
it was fun run for sure. The early 2010s.
Yeah. Did you ever like the A's, or were you always just a Giants guy?
I think because I was like a little late in becoming a Giants fan, like I didn't really start following them until I was
Okay.
18. I didn't know that you're supposed to hate the A's, so I was always
Okay.
excited for them
Yeah.
when they did well. You know, it's like it's a low budget team. You know, whoever they have is going to be on the Yankees in the next year or two. So
Yeah.
you just enjoy them while you could. It's like it's Angels prices, but
Yeah.
with a little actual personality.
That is
It's
kind of
pretty
like the
fun.
predicament out here, though. You have so many options of teams. Like you have
Mhm.
so many options, like to win or chances to win at like a football game, a baseball game, or anything. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
so many fucking teams out here.
Mhm.
So it's
There's,
like,
there's 5 professional baseball teams
Yeah.
in California.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Where most states just
You have one,
one.
barely
Right, yeah,
barely
exactly.
professional baseball team, like the Milwaukee Brewers and stuff like that. Because Eric and I are from Wisconsin.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like that's like our basically. And the Brewers, like, they are kind of like the Midwest version of like the A's, where it's just like most of the guys that are good on the team are gonna get fucking plucked out from like
Oh, yeah.
higher payrolls and shit.
Every
That
single year, they're like, well, it's another
Yeah.
rebuilding year.
Yeah, exactly.
Milwaukee,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
get first place in the division.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, man, it's the same thing in this year. We're doing really fucking good until just all went to shit like right in the fucking
Yeah.
like postseason.
Yeah,
right,
it's tough. I'm rooting for them though. Whoever their pitching coach is over there is a
Yeah.
beast. Like they turn people around.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever won a World Series, have we?
82, I think was
We
like
lost
we
in the
lost.
final,
We went to the
but-
fucking like
Yeah. At this point, the Mariners are the only one that haven't been there at all. I think the
Oh,
Brewers
really?
have at least lost. Yeah.
yeah.
I was actually at the World Series game in Milwaukee in '82.
Oh, that's
And
cool,
you-
man.
I was I was in the parking lot. My parents just tailgated it and took me and my brother, and we just sat there. I mean, I was
I was born, like,
literally
that
born
week.
that year, so
Yeah.
like I was
Yeah.
a baby, but like I was technically I was there.
It's like,
You can't
Bernie,
get
we
that
got a brand new
spirit,
kid.
like-
I don't give a fuck. Bring the baby.
Yeah, bring the baby.
We're going to the fucking
going.
game.
That's the kind of sports fan I appreciate. Nobody just tailgates in California because it
Oh,
costs
yeah.
$400 for parking.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's like a thing out here. You don't really hear much of. Like back home, that's like the thing. Like people go to tailgating parties more than they will
Yeah.
go to like it's like a whole event. It's like going to like a county fair or something. It's like
Yeah.
they have bands, they have like food cars and
Yeah.
trucks and like all the stuff. And
People rent
everyone's
like
going
moving
out.
trucks and have like bars set up inside them and shit like that. It's a fucking big
Yeah,
deal, dude.
it's like a whole thing.
yeah.
You know, I think when it comes down to in California, we're just not trusted to barbecue outdoors without lighting the state on fire. I think that might be part of it.
Also true. Yeah.
Drinking in public, you know,
Yeah.
it's probably a thing too. So how long have you been in Hollywood? How long have
I've
you-
been here since 2021.
Okay.
I made a little pit stop back in Ventura over the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just to like take care of my grandpa, which is like a generous way of saying not pay rent for a little
Yeah.
bit, which was pretty nice.
Hey, Grandpa, let me take care of you. I'm good, Clay. I'm good.
Yeah, it's like, please leave.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the worst cook I've ever
Yeah.
had. You have to get out of
Trying
here.
to
You're
poison
killing
me.
me.
Yeah.
How old is your grandfather?
He was 86 when I moved in, so it was fun trying to explain what Zoom comedy was
That's
to an
hilarious.
86-year-old man that worked on oil fields his whole
That's
life.
funny.
Very
He's like,
confused.
Clay's in there talking to his computer again.
Yeah, no idea what he actually thought I was doing.
Yeah. He's gone crazy. He's like, starts giving you some of his dementia pills and shit.
Yeah. That's what's nice when the earplugs are remote controlled. You just can like turn off the hearing a little bit and go to your set outside.
So you lived in Ventura through the pandemic, and then
Yeah, I was there for like a year and a half. Then me and my girl moved in together out in Valley Village over by North Hollywood.
Oh.
Nice little place.
That's an underrated little spot in the valley.
Yeah. It's like not quite fancy enough to be Sherman Oaks, not quite shitty enough to be North
No
Hollywood.
one wants to claim it, but it's like better rent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. I dig it.
Yeah.
I think there's like some TV shows like The Valley.
Mhm.
That's like the show, like they have a show like about like the Vanderpump people that
Oh,
are
sure.
I don't like
Yeah,
Valley
like
Village though.
Va-
Valley Village is like it's like literally this weird little fucking like, small oasis in between all the bigger fucking like popular valley cities and shit.
It's like if you know of a culture that makes some sort of kebab or falafel, they have a food truck in my neighborhood. It's dope. Like you could get like a Pakistani truck, or you could go to the Uzbeki truck. They're serving the exact same food. I don't know the difference. My white mouth cannot tell which is which, but they're all very delicious in their own way.
I want to get like for like the holidays this year. Like I did Thanksgiving, did the turkey and the stuffing and all that shit, you know. But I want to do like for Christmas, I want to do like a Mexican Christmas. Like I want to get like
Christmas tamales are clutch,
exactly
man.
like
Yeah.
tamales and fucking carne
Turkey
asada
tamales.
and fucking Spanish rice and like do the whole thing. I'm like I'm
Mhm.
sick of fucking eating turkey and stuffing and all this shit. I'm like it's good to have like once in a while, but like having like a change it up a little bit. I want to.
So my fiance is Mexican, and me and my family went to go hang out with her family for the holidays for the first time.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And you can kind of tell like their level of expectation with like the whites coming in. They're just like, hey, so like we got like turkey covered, we got mashed potatoes. Obviously, we're gonna
How
do
much
that.
mayo do
Like,
we need?
Right, like it's like so. If you guys could like, you want to just do cranberry sauce? Like we could. Yeah, I'll do the cranberry sauce. I went hard, man. I put like dried dates in there,
Yeah.
like did a
Hard.
seared like Pinot dry. I like went as hard on the cranberry sauce as I could to prove that the whites knew how to cook a little bit too.
We also know seasonings.
Yeah, exactly. I know a few.
Yeah.
Make some bomb food.
Yeah.
Your fiance's family.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
bet.
good.
Does she know how to cook?
Yeah, she's great.
Okay.
I'm learning. I need a cookbook to at least like start with the recipe. I can kind of like play around a little bit after that, but there's no way like you could just give me a pantry and be like make a meal exist.
Yeah, you're not gonna MacGyver some meal out of stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Make a
not
meal
at all. I have
exist.
no idea what a casserole is. Like I need a recipe.
yeah. Some of the shit I fucking like my go-to standard like things that I cook, especially with like my kids, just like fucking like chicken and a couple like regular ass basic veggie sides and stuff like that. It's like very fucking like cafeteria in school. My kid loves it, but it's very nutritious and shit like that. But I'm like, man, I look at myself, I'm like, this is very underwhelming. Like, I'm like, who am I trying to fucking like, wine and dine my son? You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
hey, look at this. I got him a little spice on that. Just eat it. It's fucking all the things you need without any of the fucking bullshit and like.
I
Right.
mean, SpaghettiOs and fucking like canned foods
Well,
is like
we
what
did
I
that,
grew up
yeah,
on. Like,
fucking, like-
that's what you got for
yeah.
dinner. You got guess what you get
Kid, he
mac
doesn't
and
like any of
cheese.
that
You get
shit, man.
SpaghettiOs
Like-
or a
like-
fucking sandwich, like a cheese sandwich or some shit.
It's
you know?
funny, man. Like the shit that like I grew up on, like I'll try to give my kid like fucking like, the SpaghettiOs and all the fucking like Chef Boyardee stuff, man. He does not fucking like it. I'm like,
Huh.
man, this is fucking like I would love ravioli from a can.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
fucking
It's
for
like
fucking
real.
awesome.
eating fucking. I was living large eating that shit.
Yeah, it's goopy.
Awesome.
That's the point.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
The fucking ABC's 1, 2, 3s. You know what I mean? 'Cause, like, this is
Sure.
good. I'm
Oh,
teaching
yeah.
fucking lessons and shit, and we're also eating fucking like noodles. He does not like it.
Teaching lessons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I have a kid and they don't like top ramen, I won't understand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you're gonna eat in college. Like, I don't
This
know
is
what
the
your
basic
options
foundation
are.
of your meal.
Yeah, what are you doing?
This is the food pyramid. It's actually a fucking rectangle.
Put some beef jerky in there. You
Yeah.
got some protein. You're
Yeah,
set.
there you go.
Yeah, man.
Already set. When are you gonna start having kids? You gotta got the game plan.
Man, I like. Our thought is like if we could make enough money for an adoption service to accept us, then we can think about having kids. And I know we're
Smart.
nowhere near
Yeah.
that right now.
It's a good loophole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like we'll see if we can get a dog without going insane, and then figure out the kid
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, dog's the move. I think
Dog
Yeah,
is the move.
that's what I've like gone down that. That's my I don't want to have kids. Just want to do like the dog thing. I want to be like a
Oh,
dog
yeah.
dog guy my whole life, and like
As
it's
long as
really
you don't
good.
start doing the fucking thing when you put the dog in the stroller and shit and just like confuse everybody.
No,
Like the sad woman that like waits. I'm sorry, Alex. If you put you do the dog stroller
Our
thing.
producer's like, I do
Ugh.
that.
Okay,
Hey.
yeah, bag's fine, but like the fucking the
They got-
Hollywood woman that doesn't have kids, it's like, now
Oh,
like
yeah,
barren,
yeah.
that's just like, I waited too long. This is my kids now, and like fucking putting lipstick on their dog and shit because they're fucking crazy.
I think my line is full conversation with the dog. I think as long as we're like talking to the dog, and I don't mean to just be like, I don't need to feel superior, but at the same time, like, no, sit. Good. Like, I think that's the extent of the conversation we need to have. I don't think we need to...
it's a slippery slope, man. You start fucking be like, hey, what's like, I don't know, man. I found like the second I got my dog, I like went full fucking like crazy. I can talk to whatever now. I can talk to any kind of inanimate object and shit like that. Because also too, I'm a classic car guy, and that's part of owning a classic car. Is like, oh baby, please don't die on me. So I start talking talking my car from like fucking failing on me and shit.
Yeah,
so
but
I came to the dog, and he has some kind of emotion. And then having a kid, especially when like the kid before he started to talk was just like, I'll talk to anything. I'll fucking talk to a wall, dude. Like,
It just like hides the crazy a little bit.
For sure.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, because I'm gonna talk to myself if no one is there. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna like have a conversation with my fucking self.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Exactly.
So, like,
Yeah.
instead of-
I'm all about thinking out loud. It just hurts my feelings when there's like dead eyes staring
Yeah.
back at me, just like waiting to hear the
Yeah.
word lunch or walk.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't say it yet. He didn't say it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
But he's so attentive.
Yeah.
My
He's
dog
so
got
tense.
wise to like I always did the same tricks when he first like learned how to like sit down, roll over. So I'd do like the
Your
first
kid
time.
or a dog?
Both. Yeah. Kid just grabs the food now. But like the
Back in your cage.
I'd be like, Ace, sit. And then the second I'd say sit, he would like go down and roll over right away. Like, he'd do all three tricks and then like sit there. Oh, where's the treat? And I was like, I'm like, buddy, you gotta wait for it. Like, you gotta wait for the fucking calls.
This isn't how I wanted to
Yeah,
subjugate
yeah.
you.
I always feel weird when like my friend will like fucking take a treat and like make him do tricks and shit, and I'm like, just give him the fucking treat. Like,
Oh,
you're,
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
you're doing like tricks and shit. Like, does anyone do that to you when you fucking are hungry? Like, oh, dance and do fucking give me paw and all. Like, don't, just give him this fucking treat.
People watch Blackfish and all disgusted, and then turn around. They're like, "All right, Muffin,
Yeah, right.
dance, Muffin."
Yeah.
Yeah, beg.
I always feel so like insulting. I'm like, just
Give me
fucking.
paw. Give me paw.
Yeah.
No.
It's supposed to like stimulate their mind though. I guess it's like good for
I
them.
don't know. I always find it weird when people do the thing where they put the fucking treat on the dog's nose. Like, don't move.
Mhm.
Wait till I say you can have it. Wait. Okay, now go. And the dog's like, fucking like this. It's too much. There's a control freak there. That's like, you got to go to a shrink or your fucking therapist and
Yeah.
work through those things and shit like that. And you're like,
Well, that's the thing about like getting a dog is it's either like to have something you can control or to have something that just loves you unquestionably.
Yeah.
And neither are like things you really want to figure out why they're that way for you.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
expensive conversation. With somebody.
That's much just get a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny. That's so true, though. So true. It's just like therapists, little
Yeah.
therapists. You're just like, I'm not going to go see a therapist. I'll just buy a little furry animal and
Yeah.
talk to it. And
I'll take a little dog hair in the mouth every once in a while
Yeah.
instead of a therapist bill.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, how long have you been doing comedy out here for?
Been doing it total for like about 12 years or so.
12 years.
I mean, like, didn't necessarily hit the ground running when I came out here. I moved out. So I had a whole big plan to move out at the beginning of 2020 from San Francisco. And I had like all these shows lined up. And I literally moved down like at the very end of February. And so I did like one show. Nobody was there. I did an open mic. There were like 10 people there. And then the next day, like everything was completely closed down.
Yeah.
And so I just, I was already kind of mentally expecting the big fish, small pond thing to happen.
Yeah.
But then when I actually like moved to LA, there's just no momentum whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm at least starting to get little gigs every once in a while now, which is nice.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole reset, man. Like the fucking whole game changed and like all the gatekeepers switched around. And it's just like, all right, well, we're starting from square one again.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I feel for everybody that's moving from farther away, because I at least have the option to like pop back up to NorCal every once in a while and do a week or two of shows and pay rent. But like, if you're from Chicago, like by the time you pay for a flight back, like you do not make that money from local
Yeah.
shows. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you started comedy?
I went to San Francisco to study acting, so I was always kind of doing something in this realm.
Yeah,
like
okay.
I always like doing sketch comedy, things like that. I wish I had found stand up earlier because that would have been so much cheaper. But like college got me to San Francisco at least, and got me to meet some of the homies. So good experience all around.
Have you been doing like any auditions while you're doing comedy? I know Tony is just, like, kind of he's trying to get his feet wet again in that whole aspect of like going out for auditions while he's still pursuing comedy.
Like that is one thing that I had a little bit of momentum going because like I was doing pretty good up in the Bay Area. Like every single role, it's like we're looking for a Seth Rogen type. I'm like, oh hello. It was I was up there with like Silicon Valley. The show was on, and so like they all wanted somewhere between T.J. Miller and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
So I had like a pretty good commercial resume. I got to be part of the union and everything by the time I came down here. So that was nice. Like once you're in the guild, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but like there's usually always background work for you. And that pays pretty good, especially if they like have those insane 14, 15-hour days.
Yeah. Are you still doing acting work now?
Yeah, it's like mostly background work, but
hey man,
like I just
a paycheck and free fucking food all day long.
I just auditioned for something that shoots in Serbia in a couple weeks. So I'm like, I don't know that I like necessarily want that one. Like, I don't know if it's like a paycheck that's worth like the potential for kidnapping.
Dude, that's literally what I did like last year. Like I fucking went to Mexico for some like shady ass thing where I was like, I got out of there like, and I was like, and then they wanted me to come back and like shoot a couple other things. I was like, I don't even know what I just did. And I felt like I was gonna get kidnapped or my kidneys removed at any point in time. I was just like, no, thank you. Like it has to be really fucking like above board type thing. Where
right.
Like, you know,
that is like, I got frustrated with SAG because there's like, I mean, I think without exaggerating, maybe 5% of the work in LA is union work and the rest is non-union.
Yeah.
And like, I was having to turn down gigs that's like $2,000 a day because it just wasn't quite SAG scale. Like that is a couple months rent for me. I can't turn that down anymore. Yeah. So they got this option where you could, like, I forget the exact wording for it. It's called Financial Core. Like you just register as FICOR and then you don't get some of the benefits. Like you don't get to vote for the SAG Awards or whatever. I don't get those sweet DVDs sent to me every January anymore, even though everything's on a streaming service anyways. But it means that I can do non-union gigs, which is rad, except for the time you go to Mexico and worry about getting murdered. Sure. Like normally the union stuff, there's not really a lot of thought of being murdered involved. Unless it's necessary for the scene.
It's necessary. He's a method actor. Went all in.
Somebody's going Kubrick for a commercial.
For a commercial.
Just gotta feel it for this Toyota commercial. We need to feel the fear.
This is the real mayhem.
This guy died for this ad.
I did get a background notice. I don't think I got the gig, but it asked specifically if I'm like comfortable playing a Nazi. And I'm just like, did I eat my way out of looking Jewish? Like, am I like, did I get so chunky that I might be alt-right now? It's kind of disappointing to see, to be honest with you. Like, I know this wasn't like a 1940s Nazis because they like, say what you will, pretty good shape. Let's be honest. Like lots of jumping jacks and shit. They didn't have like
methamphetamines. They were fucking
exactly. Those sweet Nazi uniforms didn't come in 2X. So must have been
let this out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Just too much.
Too much porridge. Yeah, exactly.
Too much strudel.
Sweet Nazi uniforms. Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, so
did you get the gig?
No, I don't think I got the gig, unfortunately. Yeah. I just like the like with the background gigs, you normally just get like 2 or 3 word description. Like,
dude, they're always insulting as fuck. That's the funny thing too.
Yeah.
Hollywood club douchebag is like, this is what like
I got like one was like specifically tech trolls. It was for like some cop procedural show, and I'm just like, you could just say employees. Like we're just working on computers.
Like just saying. I stopped like talking to my mom about like potential things I'm going on for. She's like, did you get the douchebag role? It's like, no, I'm not douchey enough. Fucking like.
It's like showing women that you saved her as like big titties Tiffany. Like, no, that's for you. You don't need to tell her that she's big titties Tiffany. She could just be Tiffany in her mind.
Yeah.
That's for you. Too much description. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny now that like, because all the shit on like they come through my casting profiles, all like the 30s to 40s, like, you know, and it's just like alcoholic. And I was like, okay. I was like, it used to be like fucking murderer, kidnapper, and it's just like I'm like, some of these things are kind of hit like, you know, driving home the divorce him. Like, I got this.
Sad dad.
Yeah, sad dad. Tired man, tired old man. Weathered adult.
Yeah. Hollywood lets you know what they think about you. Like,
For sure.
especially because like all the tactfulness is kind of used to tell black people to be urban without being racist. And so they don't worry about offending fat people. Like, I don't think there's like, look, you're not like, we already had to tell the Asian people to stop looking smart. So we're just going to go ahead and like, just tell Chunky to fat it up over there. We don't need to mince words with this idiot.
Yeah.
Want the paycheck or not?
When you go to like auditions too, you see like a million of same versions of yourself.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's like the trippy thing.
Like, even back up in SF, like, what I kind of had like a bit of a Jew fro going, and so I would go to auditions, and it would literally just be like different shapes and sizes of Jew fro. Just like, all right, there's tall Jew fro, there's
Bizarro world
buff
versions
Jew
of
fro's
yourself.
a weird choice. I don't
Yeah.
know, like if I had a good body, I don't know if I'd rely on the Jew fro. Just cut your hair,
Emo Jew fro.
yeah, yeah, just the Spider-Man like Jew fro over the side of his face.
Yeah.
It's such an odd thing. It just makes you feel like such a like an item, you know, like a piece of property.
It's a cattle call, man.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, it's so weird. I only did it a few times, but I was just like, this is the whole time I was ever doing it. I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah,
like I just never felt comfortable. I was just like, this is not. I can't do this. This is so weird.
I get so excited when I see another comic in an audition. So it's just like, all right, thank God there's just like a person to talk to with thoughts. Like, just like I don't have to like try to match the positive energy of a fucking actor right now. Just get to like bitch about parking or whatever with some comic.
That's everyone's all quiet and reading their fucking sides and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, this is gonna break me. I'm like, who gives a shit? It's all silly. It's all silly.
The shit when people start getting really fucking like into like the scene and like I don't know. I mean they might book more shit than me. Maybe that's what's fucking like the big thing I'm missing and shit. But it's just sometimes I'm like, damn, you're taking this way too serious. It's a fucking Oreos ad. This is Oreos fucking like ad right now. And you're like, dude,
It's a fucking Oreos ad.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely something to like having the earnesty to go out and network and just be like, hey man, I enjoyed spending this 12-hour day with you. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah.
And doing that like 10 times a day and hoping it works out eventually.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm so spoiled from comedy where networking is like, yo, you were funny. Let's do this again sometime. Like there's actually some substance to like a compliment when you
because it's also like you're appreciating someone else's own material, right?
Yeah,
like when you're doing anything for like an audition, like, and that's kind of the nice thing about like going back into this after doing stand-up for so long, where it's just like, hey, if you don't like the way I say these fucking words you wrote, that's on you. That's the best I can do. Like I might not be your guy, but like I didn't write this shit, you did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just fucking, this is a mirror of your own writing. But like when it comes to someone like, you know, getting credit or taking like the negative fucking feedback from your own set, like that's something you take the onus of, and that's like, you know, can make or break you. But I'd rather take that shit than like sitting in a fucking room full of like producers and being like, I guess I'm not your guy. All right, cool.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Do you guys validate for parking? Yeah.
I would much rather like not be the exact chubby Jew that they're looking for than have a fucking room not.
I'm not your
laughing
troll.
me.
Yeah.
Like bombing hurts so much more than not getting a role.
For sure.
I was listening to that Smart List podcast, like Jason Bateman and there's like two other guys on there. And I guess when he was going off for auditions when he was a kid, he'd always like leave and say, hey, good luck with this, guys. Like, so it's like a cut, but like also like kind of arrogant. But I thought that was fucking hilarious. Hey, good luck with this, guys. Hope this works out for you. Like, this is trash. Like,
I did like I'm starting to get more dad roles and stuff, and so I did audition with this kid, and afterwards I'm just like, hey buddy, great job in there. The fucking eye roll that I got, just like, yeah, whatever,
no
man.
way.
I know. I'm like, Jesus, like I hope neither of us get this
That's
last
hilarious.
one.
That's funny.
oh my God. So what would you be doing if you weren't doing comedy?
When I was going to figured out what I was going to do for college, it was either acting or zoology. Like I basically wanted to be like Steve Irwin in some form or another. Like I've always really liked animals.
Yeah.
I've liked the idea of working at a zoo. Though everything I've learned about that since I've gone the other direction is like, oh no, that's like a lot of just like math and shitty hours. That's not nearly as like, it's not like panda whispering as much as I want it to be, unfortunately.
Have you ever gone to the LA Zoo?
I have, yeah. It's a cool spot, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Definitely a fun zoo. I mean, I like the abandoned one too. That's a
For
fun
sure.
hike to go
Hollywood
on.
Zoo? Yeah. It's pretty trippy.
Yeah, but that's one of my favorite things to do if I'm on the road, like either you know, if there's no good movies out, just go see whatever local zoo that is. Like
Yeah.
you'd be surprised, like Fresno has a fucking slamming
Really?
zoo out of
Really?
nowhere. I guess Fresno Zoo used to be so depressing that like the city actually put a vote out. It's like, hey guys, can we all like pitch in a couple million tax dollars to like have less sad hippos? They're like, yeah, please. We can't.
That's
we can't-
hilarious.
We can't just watch elephants sway back and forth depressed anymore. So now it's dope.
Dude, it's funny that they have a zoo up there because like Fresno's not a very big market.
It's there's like 1 million people in Fresno almost. I think it's like the 5th biggest city in California.
How many people do you need to have in a county to have a zoo?
Yeah,
Well,
like,
I guess you know in comparison because I mean we have like there's like one zoo in Wisconsin, the Milwaukee County
Sure,
Zoo.
yeah.
It's a huge zoo, though.
It is a
That's
big zoo,
fucking
but, like,
giant.
That is fucking like one of the most notorious fucking gorillas in there. I try to break out fucking
Oh, really?
Samson. Yeah, his fucking thing was like a fucking beast. He was not happy to be fucking captive. It was
That's
like
Samson.
Yeah.
Samson fucking
Samson.
broke out like I want to say like at least 2 or 3 times or some shit. And that so much that she had like a run like a fucking 5K
Samson stop.
Samson stop. Yeah, in honor of the fucking like
Just
the
that
most
was-
angry caged fucking
That's
gorilla
so
possible.
funny. Just the Malcolm X to Harambe's Martin Luther King. Just
Yeah.
like the angry, violent
Yeah,
version
for
of,
sure.
of guerrilla freedom.
That was
Yeah.
a sweet like run thing that they had going on there, though. I did it one time, and it was pretty nuts because they shut down the whole zoo, and then it's just like this, you know, you run the whole zoo, but all the animals in the cages, they don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know,
sure.
They don't know it's
Yeah,
a 5K.
They're also
yeah.
like
They're just
showing
like,
off
what the
how
fuck's
free
going
you
on?
are. They're like,
And-
look at me running around. You're all stuck in those cages. Look at
Yeah,
this.
and
It's like
all the animals
brown
get all
up.
hyped up and
Yeah.
shit, and they'll start like running along the cages wherever you go. It was pretty nuts. Kind of a fun experience.
Yeah, that's interesting. That will like even if you know it's in a cage, if you see a tiger start to run, like, oh, a little extra speed
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's got a second
Runs
wind.
faster at certain exhibits.
Yeah. Well, real slow by the birds, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I fucking love going to the zoo. I try to go like every year to the LA Zoo. So I was just like, I don't know. They got beer there. You just walk around, have
Sure.
a beer,
Yeah.
you know, fucking look at some cool fucking animals, some monkeys. They got a silverback. They got chimpanzees.
Oh yeah.
Those are the
Yeah.
fun ones. Like those, because they're so like, when you look at them, you're like, God damn, it's fucking so close
Yeah,
to a
fucking
human.
just
So
murder you, yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're so strong, you know. You see them do something, you're like, oh my God, that's fucking nuts, you know. Great zoo.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, San Diego Zoo is pretty cool too. I've
I've
only
never
done
been.
that.
I've still
done
yet
that
to go
once.
there.
Yeah, that's like you can spend a whole last day in the
Yeah.
San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
It's a good time. The Wild Animal Park too, like the one where they've just got that big tram and all the animals are outside. It's just
Oh,
like
really?
it's like a half-assed African safari, but like,
Yeah.
it's a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, that
Huh.
one's pretty
All right, I
cool.
got to do that shit for sure.
Well, did you ever go to the SeaWorld?
Oh sure, yeah, not a
did-
long time, but back in the day for sure.
Yeah, I did it before. It was all like, not cool
Taboo.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Depressing.
yeah. When you find out all all the bad shit about it, but yeah, that's just pretty crazy too.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, the sadness of captivity aside, feeding fish to dolphins a fucking rad experience. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty goddamn cool.
You ever swam with dolphins?
No, I'd like to.
Yeah.
Like 'cause I scuba dive, and so I've had some like fun run-ins with sea lions, but
Yeah.
I've never like seen dolphins.
Yeah.
Heard whales, didn't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
that's
to be,
fun.
I was swimming with dolphins in a fucking like tank and shit like that. It
Oh,
was, like,
sure, yeah, no, that would be fun as well.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty fucking crazy.
yeah.
too.
I was not really like all open to it. Then I was like, I warmed up to it, but it's just kind of like,
It's like dogs. They're
Yeah.
like dogs of the sea and shit.
Sea
They're just
dogs.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
fucking like super smart. They're like fucking just like friendly.
Just a little more dangerous if they
yeah,
decide to
for
hump
sure.
a leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or rape you exactly. Just straight up rape you.
yeah.
Dolphin rape, man.
Pretty cool.
It's a real thing. Holidays, man. So you do another mixer with the Mexican family and the Platt
Sticking
family?
around SoCal this time. I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited about that. I only have to drive to Ventura, so that'll
So
be
wait,
good.
where's your girl's family?
Up near Sacramento.
Okay.
Like, they're kind of all spread out around the.
Oh, so you guys just
the
gonna
North
stay
Bay.
here, just the two of you?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the best type of Christmases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So presents. That's a whole fucking thing for the holidays.
Oh,
You
yeah.
Start doing that. Like now it's like a weird thing when you get older and everyone else gets older. You're like, what the fuck am I gonna buy anybody? Everybody's got everything they want. Like,
Mhm.
what do you get people that's not something that they go cool and they throw it away or they don't use it? You know what I mean? Like something meaningful or like they could actually use.
You
It's
know,
really hard.
I have a pretty distinct advantage because I got a late November birthday. So
Mhm.
that means like I've got a checklist for Christmas. It's like, all right, which one of you fuckers half-assed my birthday present? It's really going to affect what you get in December.
You gotta like really bring it. You gotta really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I'm trading sweaters if that's what
That's
you're giving me.
hilarious.
That's what you're getting.
Regifting.
I think it's a good it's good like protocol to do. I think now like my family the last few years we just do that like Secret Santa thing.
Oh
We, like,
yeah,
put,
that's
like,
fun.
Put a $25 cap on it. I think we did like novelty as seen on TV like
Right,
things.
like if a family's gonna fight, have it be over like a Billy the Big Mouth Bass, not over Trump. Like that's like a fun holiday fight that you can have.
Yeah.
Do you set when you do it? Do you set like a steal limit? Like you can only steal an item like 3 times or whatever.
I don't think so. I think it's you can
Just infinite
go
steals.
until the end.
That's
You can
chaos.
go to
I love it.
go to
I
the
love
end.
it.
Yeah, to the
Okay.
very end. But do you have any in fight fighting within family or politics? Has that ever come up?
Not with like not with the alive generations. now that the boomers are gone, it's been a little more pleasant, to be honest with you. Nobody's trying to recap Fox News through a haze of whiskey and Alzheimer's. Just a hazy game of telephone.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
That's a whole thing for sure.
You have siblings?
One sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Older, younger?
She's younger. It's so like I'm from this little tiny, mostly Jewish family, and my girl's from this like gigantic Catholic family, and I've just been seeing like my guest list lose numbers as the wedding planning goes on. Like I'm already down to 40% of the guests. I'm really trying to hold there. Like I've never met half these goddamn cousins. I don't know why I could bring like a few friends out. Would be nice.
Can I have a couple friends? It's a small little side table.
Do you guys have a date set?
Yeah, it's gonna be November 9th, opposite of 9/11, so
Okay.
11/9. Night to forget if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're pretty far ahead of the game, man. We've gotten to the point where we're tasting food, so I'm officially interested in the wedding planning. I wasn't like,
Let's do these cakes again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Korean barbecue, you say. That is an interesting idea. Yeah, that part's been a lot of fun.
How'd you pop the question?
Pretty basic, like out in Jamaica
Text
on
message?
a beach. Like, yeah, exactly. You up forever?
Yeah. You up for forever?
We were out on a beach in Jamaica, sunset. I like brought my camera out, did like a couple of little like planned selfies, so she didn't expect anything too much. Like she didn't wonder why I brought like a camera and tripod to the beach.
Yeah.
I was wearing a suit which like smelled like hot ass because I flew with it. Like I didn't know if we were gonna have an ironing board. I didn't want to just like cram my suit into my carry-on, so I like flew with the suit out to Jamaica, which I highly recommend. By the way, like if you look like us, wear a suit on a plane to a third world country. So I literally like I skipped TSA on the way in. I got in and they're just like they waved me through one line, and my girl's like, "How come he goes over there?" She's like, "You don't need to worry about why he goes over there." Like, I'll see you on the other side, babe. But so yeah, I got the suit and we got the camera, the tripod, and I framed it just so to where you couldn't see the giant inflatable Margaritaville slide out to the left, which like cool as it was, kind of dampened the romance of the situation. But I put some thought into it. It was a nice little night.
That's cool. Where were you guys? Well, I guess I don't want to say where you're gonna have it.
Yeah, out in LA. It's like up in the hills. It's like it's actually a pretty sweet setup. It's just this ranch that has like a petting zoo basically, so like the cocktail hours at a petting zoo. There's gonna be a beer burro just like walking around with a couple satchels full of stuff. You just like, I don't know if you tip the donkey an apple or how it works, but it's gonna be walking around with beers for people.
That's fucking awesome.
That should be cool, man.
Kind of meshing both of your
yeah, exactly. We'll have some sombreros, we'll smash a glass or two. It'll be a nice little melding of cultures.
That's cool. That's cool,
dude. Well, congrats, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, congrats on that. That's
like mazel. Is that what you're supposed to say?
Yeah, mazel works.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
Fuck, did we just talk about happiness?
Let's get back to something savage. So, CEO murders. What the fuck?
So into it. So excited. Yeah. I don't mean to brag, but I'm blowing up on Threads right now.
Hot takes on the fucking... Dude, I mean, it's such a Boondock Saints thing to fucking engrave things on bullets and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fucking... deposed, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, the Monopoly money factor is so like I love that there's some performance art to it too. Like this is definitely like a sociopath, but a fucking dope one. Like I am a fan.
What is this?
What's the Monopoly money part?
I
missing
heard they
something?
found his backpack and it was like full of literal Monopoly money.
That's hilarious.
Oh, the guy that shot
The guy that shot Brian Thompson,
the
or whatever.
healthcare
Yeah.
guy.
It's, I'm not saying like I'm not full on eat the rich, but if a couple things change because of this,
But
I'm
the
not
thing
going
is
to be
this,
too
though.
bad about it.
Like, do you think it's his backpack though? I mean, like,
No, I don't think that. I think NYPD lost the guy, and FBI has no idea,
Yeah.
and they're just desperate to not look like complete.
So
fucking helpless
that guy's
morons.
still not caught?
Oh, he's gone.
No, dude, he's
Yeah.
Really?
He,
So
like-
I only know like, okay, you guys got to fill me in because I only know a little bit of like that.
So there was a murder.
That CEO guy or that like healthcare guy
Yeah.
got sniped out by that one guy that they keep showing the video
just
of. Or
broad
whatever.
daylight.
I don't know
couple
much
cops
more
in
than
the
that.
back.
Other than that, you know.
The wee hours of the morning.
So they like there's an image of a guy who doesn't even look like he's wearing the same hoodie or backpack that's been circulating, and just like this hot guy who's at Starbucks. Everybody's like, shoot me, daddy. Like the internet is as appropriately horny as it should be over this guy. But it doesn't necessarily look like him. It definitely doesn't look like the same backpack and everything.
No.
Especially since I think we're saying that they found the backpack in a lake in Central Park anyways. But they're like, last time we saw him, he was getting on a interstate bus depot. So they have no idea.
Yeah. But also, there's like CCTV of like him like riding away on a bike and shit. That which is just like fucking like the whole escape route. Just like it's like fucking comical. Like poor fucking dude would die. I mean, like I don't think you should celebrate anyone being fucking murdered. But like that, just the fact he's like like gets on a fucking like an e-bike or something like that and rides
That's so
off.
crazy to
sunset.
I did not know that he was still like like not caught yet. Like I thought like. You would think in today's day and age with all the cameras and all the stuff, there's video of the guy doing the murder, right? So it's like how would someone get away in today's day and age? But apparently you can still.
Yeah, I mean it's like
there's also like a witness that was there too that like hasn't come forward, and like they're probably scared because like this guy's fucking just coming out of the shadows and fucking murder. Yeah, I wouldn't fucking say shit out. I'm like, no, never heard of such a thing.
But we're just like we're too big of a country. Even New York's like too big to be full Big Brother. Like you ride a bike into Central Park, you're gonna find some dark corners and then be able to slip away. Just have whatever clothes under your hoodie and you're a different person all of a sudden.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't know they didn't catch that guy.
It's funny because like they were talking about like the candy bar or the fucking protein bar wrappers and like the fucking bottle that like they bought from Starbucks and shit and then left there. It's just like, but like also too, like if this guy's going through all the things of like writing shit on the bullets, like why would he not just have like grab someone else's shit to, again, for me in my fucking movie brain, I'm like, it's probably someone else's, he grabbed someone else's bottle and left that there. Cause that's what I would do. I just plant other people's DNA and shit like that and fucking throw the scent off my track and shit like that. And then the backpack too, like they just had a thing, I think it was today or yesterday when there was like people dressing up to like, look like the guy. There was like a fucking meetup in Central Park. So people,
New York's wild.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to do like your closest fucking assassin look and shit.
So there's like Monopoly money in his backpack?
Something along those lines. I don't know, man. It's just like considering the target, it makes all the sense in the world to me that this is a dude with like a terminal illness who just got fucked over by this specific guy in his mind. So if it's like a relatively clear-headed person, all things considered, like it'd be pretty easy to get away with something like that with considering how many people have a motive to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Well, dude, they were saying like the percentage of denials for claims like is 16% is the average. United Healthcare is 32% of claims they deny, which is like crazy. Like with three of us were all putting in claims, they'd be like, one of you guys isn't getting your claim. That's insane. Like it should be like 1% or maybe 5%.
Well, just for an insurance company to profit, like by definition, it means that they are giving out less healthcare than they are receiving money.
For sure,
they are purposely hoarding money and keeping healthcare from going to the people that needs it. So it's just, it sucks when somebody gets shot in the back. Also, the system needs to be fixed. So if it's not going to happen any other way, I hope it at least happens this way.
Yeah, if anything, it brings a spotlight on the situation and hopefully can change it.
Yeah. It does crack me up when everybody's like, this is bringing the country together. Like, I don't know, only half the country was voting for like insurance. Do they want this? Like, because we could have just voted for it if they wanted this. Like, that was an option.
Yeah, could have just voted. But
just murder some guy in fucking broad daylight in New York.
Yeah, well,
it's funny because today's the fucking like 44th anniversary of like Lennon's fucking death
Hmm.
in Central Park. which
Yeah,
is another
sure.
story.
Today is
Yeah, today.
really.
Yeah.
What if it's his grandson or something?
right?
That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Was it Mark David Chapman? Or something?
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah,
waited on
dude.
his kid once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he looks
Lennon's
so-
kid, not fucking the murderer's kid.
Yeah, I don't know that guy. Not the
Yeah.
You
backpack
look
guy.
familiar.
Yeah, he's got a mouth.
Dude, the crazy thing about the fucking like Lennon thing, so like the guy who killed him apparently lived in Hawaii. I didn't know that. Like I just fucking like listened to this podcast going into the detail on that shit and like was a huge John Lennon fan. And then he got into like Todd Rutledge. You know who Todd Rutledge is? He's like another 70s artist that like had an album that came out. It's called Utopia, is like the band. But basically they did like a bootleg version of Beatles songs, right? Like not Beatles covers, but songs that sound a lot like
Sure.
really Beatles
Yeah,
shit, right?
yeah.
And then this Todd Rutledge guy is in LA. Fucking John Lennon goes on like hiatus from New York and spends like a year and a half out here with like some chick that was like his assistant that Yoko kind of just pushed him with because she was sick of him and she wanted to start fucking his bandmate. So she sends John Lennon out here for like a year and a half bender, right? So he's getting fucked up, just like being an asshole all around town. Like goes to the fucking Troubadour. Like the Smothers Brothers come out for a reunion show, right? And like John Lennon starts fucking. First off, he goes into the fucking Troubadour with a maxi pad on his fucking forehead. So just like, I need attention, you know, and like,
yeah.
I forget what other like, what other like, band, like, you know, it wasn't a Beatle that he's with, but some other fucking like, you know, popular band at the time. It was like 1976 or some shit, right? And gets all fucked up, gets kicked out of there, and everyone that's like trying to shush him was like, you know who I am? You know who I am? Like, yeah, like this the
Really?
fucking waitress is like fucking quoted saying like, yeah, the asshole at the tampon or the fucking maxi pad in your forehead. Like no one gives a fuck that you're John Lennon. So he gets kicked out. And while he gets kicked out, he goes over to the Rainbow. Todd Rutledge, the guy from the fucking band Utopia, sees him and he's fucking like amazed, like this is his fucking idol.
Yeah.
And fucking you know, tries to meet, and then John Lennon fucking tells him to fuck off, right? So he writes his fucking like vengeful album about how much he hates John Lennon. Mark David Chapman listens to it, gets the idea to fucking murder this dude, and then fucking 4 years later does this shit in fucking Central Park while we didn't catch her in the rye and shit. Like just a crazy chain of events.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole. It's fucking
crazy.
Yeah, man.
I never would think that John Lennon would be an asshole like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about the guy? The guy's
I mean, he was like
Yeah.
appropriately arrogant. Like he was one of the most talented humans of all time. But I hear like the arrogance, like it's like a Michael Jordan level of fucking competitiveness and arrogance.
But the thing is though, like Jordan was like fucking like talented his entire career. Like John Lennon, like for the better part of the 70s, post fucking Beatles, didn't really do some, like he had a lot of fucking flops, man. He had some good shit. Like the other Beatles, I mean, fucking George Harrison, fucking Paul McCartney. Ringo Starr never really fucking did much, but like, you know.
He would like Lennon was more I guess he was more like Kobe than Jordan, because towards the end he was putting out like like Kobe would have days where he was like, you shot 57 times? How many did you make? You made 13 out of 57. That was a lot of later John Lennon.
He was more
albums.
like a political activist.
He did do some shit like, you know, some, you know, got some people out of like, you know, he was very, you know, much of an activist, but yeah, like as far as like just his personal fucking like, you know, arrogance and shit like that, and being like, and then also too like the Yoko thing, because like there was a big shit. Like I didn't know.
That shit's crazy. That bitch was nuts.
Dude, the thing is, I didn't
She's still
realize.
alive, right?
Yeah, she's still fucking doing like weird fucking like moving art in fucking New York. And
The best video of that is like that when he was, I forget what show it was. He was on like some like talk show or something, and they performed, and like she came on, and I think like Chuck Berry or something's playing with them, and like the whole time he's like looking at her like,
that was
what
a good
the
one.
fuck is
There's
going on?
been a couple incidents like that. Like there was this big concert that the Stones threw called the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, and it's like it's a fun watch. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Everybody's wearing these like. Everybody in the crowd's wearing wizard garbs, and they just like it's just super trippy. Everybody's like, there's a whole bunch of like I guess they were going for sketches between John Lennon and Mick Jagger, where they were just both on too much acid to remember any lines, and so they're just kind of like improvising on acid. It doesn't make any sense.
That's hilarious.
But then there's some like fucking tasty ass songs that are there, and there's a part where like like Lennon's on stage or like. Yeah, Lennon's on stage with Keith Richards and just like this super group of people.
Mhm.
And they get through one song, they sing Your Blues by the Beatles, and it's just fucking heavy and sick. And then the next song, Yoko Ono comes on and just takes a microphone from a guy and just starts like, and just like everybody in the band's just like so sad.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's a bummer to watch.
Like, oh man,
Get your bitch off the fucking
yeah,
mic.
yeah. Like,
dude.
he can't do anything because it's his chick. Fuck. Like, what are we gonna do? That's crazy.
Yeah, man, because there was like a big fucking like backlash because I didn't know that like Sean Lennon has a different mom than fucking Julian Lennon.
Right.
So he was married and shit like that, and then she literally not only broke up the band but broke up a marriage and shit like that. And he just kind of fucking went off, and then
That's what Hey Jude's about.
yeah, and then fucking she was like not only obviously it's like crazy when it comes to her performance shit, but like also like wouldn't let him do anything without reading zodiacs and horoscopes and all this kind of shit and doing fucking numerology to figure out what the best move was. Like his whole fucking life was like kind of just controlled by her in that sense. And then like toward the very end, you started kind of like, the ether is starting to wear off right before he gets fucking murdered and shit. And just like, there could have been a whole different, like, I'm surprised they hadn't made that movie yet. Like the fucking, like, what if he didn't die? And like fucking like,
I think they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. I think they did like in like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. They did like a what would John?
Really?
Yeah, it was like a whole like thing. I think it was on MTV when they still did stuff.
Did actual
music.
stuff? Yeah, involved in
regarding.
music. Is that even a channel anymore? Is MTV still a thing?
No, that's so crazy. It's like
I think it's mostly reality shows at this point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When's the last time you saw a music video for anything? Like.
Childish Gambino.
I go on.
Like every once in a while, there's some artists that put out some fucking dope ones. Like
Julia Lucas
Beyonce's
is
are
like,
always like pretty fun to watch.
yeah.
Like
I like depends on like on what kind of like artist like I like because there's like Leon Bridges with his like Texas Sun. You like him at all?
sure, yeah.
So like his 2 EPs he did with like the Career Bing or whatever the fuck it is. I can never say their name right. I'm too stupid.
The beer, Clay?
Oh yeah, please.
But yeah, there's like I don't know. I feel like most times I just delve into new artists. I'll go look and see what they have like on YouTube for videos and shit.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well, I feel like as far as music videos, most artists that I like, every music video is just like them recording in a studio with somebody's friend who was a cinema student.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I love Alabama Shakes to death, but every music video is so goddamn boring.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also kind of that during the pandemic, man, I went on a fucking like total rabbit hole just of like, watching old music videos.
Sure.
And shit.
Oh
watching,
yeah.
Old GNR shit. You know what I mean? Like just there's like dude, there was like I think we had you're younger than we are.
37.
Okay. All right. You're close. But like all this shit like TRL like was probably dying off when as you're like, kind of coming to age and shit like that. But it was weird because you had like this top 10 of like all these different genres and shit like that. And it was a big deal to get your music video on that.
Yeah.
So like you'd have like NSYNC, then Blink-182, then fucking like Limp Bizkit. It was like they were all kind of competing for the same thing. And it was you don't have that with radio where it's just like, top 40s like more genre specific. But even now, like the radio's kind of fucking dead. Like everything's kind of just gone to the wayside and shit. And there's just like weird mumble rap and nothing like, just all music's just trash.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of the side effect of having so many different ways to listen to stuff for free.
Yeah.
Like same with shows, like everybody's just able to find their thing.
Yeah.
And now like nobody's learning about new music because if that's not your thing, it's not going to come across your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I have to consciously like be like, hey, I don't think I've like heard a new band this year. Like I should like probably just change up my Pandora algorithm a little bit if nothing else. Like try to get something new in there.
You don't have Spotify? You get your Spotify Wrapped?
I do. Like I kind of go back and forth. Like Spotify. I mean, Pandora doesn't pay that much more, but Spotify just gives so little to musicians. I use it for podcasts because everybody's got their own like commercials and stuff anyways for the most part. Mm-hmm. But there's a little bit of guilt, especially since like I'm of the Napster generation. Like I've already gotten so much free music in my life. I feel kind of bad using Spotify.
It's interesting though, because like, with streaming and shit, it's kind of like I guess the streaming not getting paid for the plays, right? It kind of goes back to like now there's no longer like the middleman being the record label taking the fucking royalties from the album sales,
right?
And the artists to make their money on the road. So it's kind of like goes back, but like the artist is still getting fucked, but like it kind of makes you want to go really support somebody and go see them live. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, it's like a shitty 1-2 punch because it is harder to make stuff from like streaming these days, and you're not like selling records or even CDs anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like there are like it's so easy to be a fucking scalper and just go on like Ticketmaster or whatever, and just like that's why tickets are so expensive is because like third parties are buying them all up and then just selling them for 2-3 times more. It's like it's such a shot in the face at like the only way these people have to make money. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because like I don't know, I went to like I think like 4 or 5 concerts this year, and like I saw the 30th anniversary of like the Dookie album with like
fun.
Green Day, SoFi and shit, and that was crazy because like I saw them a couple years after that when they were out on the road for like Insomniac in like 99, 97, some shit like that. But like to see how much they've evolved as musicians and shit like that, and like I kind of stopped listening to them after the 90s anyways.
I mean, they've kind of always been 4 15-year-olds. Like they've just managed to like keep finding what.
But they're so talented now. It's just kind of like, you should be. You've spent 30 years mastering a guitar. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're not the same 3-chord band you were in the 90s and shit. Like they like fucking like they're solid ass musicians, and it's cool that they're still the same unit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's very rare that you have that kind of shit. But
the like same with the Chili Peppers, like. The shows live kind of seem like what these like just poor kids growing up in California would have done if they made it. Like it seemed like you could see this is what they would have done when they were just doing like shitty punk shows in the East Bay, and now they have their money, and now they got like when I saw them live, they had some guy in like a big like Philly fanatic kind of mascot and just like chugging whiskey and playing trumpet the whole time, just like stupid punk shit that even though they're like pretty mainstream now, like the live factor is still pretty goddamn fun.
That's cool. I've yet to see them.
Like Chili Peppers, I guess, just have like such joy with still playing with each other. It's like amazing to me because I don't know anybody in comedy that's able to tour with other comedians for that long and not like completely get sick of each other.
Yeah, you never really hear any like, conflict between any of those band members.
No,
like,
they're all like just stoked to be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're out here. We got socks on our dick. Let's just enjoy the moment.
They weren't taking themselves seriously, and that's probably the best way to go.
Yeah, that's the way to go about it. Otherwise, you have the fucking like Jane's Addiction scenario where you're taking yourself too serious and you're all fucked up, and then just like your egos are in the fucking play.
And it's hard to take yourself too seriously with lyrics like "get to bedtime." Like you gotta be a little loosey goosey if you're riding that way.
There's this guy I follow on Instagram that takes like songs from like Chili Peppers and other big artists, and he like somehow he like uses their same voices but like changes around the lyrics for him and stuff. It's fucking hilarious. It's like it's just, I don't know. I think it's called There I Ruined It or something like that.
Oh, nice.
And it's just he does like everybody, and it's just fucking hilarious. I don't know. Check it out if you have a phone on you. But
pause this.
Pause
check
this.
It out.
And you come back and
then you'll
breathe
laugh.
Eric.
But,
yeah, man.
Fucking concerts are just so fucking expensive now, though. Like just crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's so frustrating because like they need to be expensive for the sake of the artist, and then just to have the extra 50% tacked on for scalpers is infuriating.
Yeah, it's like
that's why you got to try to go to like the fucking Rocks, your like little local.
Oh yeah,
it's like I've been fortunate to see like some bigger acts at like those, especially living in LA. So like now that you're down here, like you got to check that shit out because there's like every once in a while you get some fucking like big ass band like playing those venues, even like the Wiltern, because like Social Distortion plays there a lot, and like I feel like for whatever reason those tickets aren't that fucking like crazy, like it's a stadium, you know what I mean? Like,
which is nuts because it's like it's not a big room,
No, but they'll sell it off for like a week straight though.
That's rad. Yeah. I like the whiskey as well. Like they're like Mondays at the Whiskey A Go Go. They're always doing 80s and 90s nights, and it's just local like cover bands and shit. But they're talented,
Yeah, I like got burnt out on that when I first moved out here in like 2003. It was like every 80s band did a 20-year fucking reunion show and shit. So I saw like everybody. It was just like fucking Motley Crue, Poison, fucking everything went down to Rat. It was just like I'm fucking like over that. I can go another 20 years, which I have since doing that shit, and just like, but it was cool seeing like those bands in those venues, like not too much after their fucking like heyday and shit.
I mean, that is like That is the LA equivalent of having a picnic outside the Eiffel Tower. Like that is our city and our history.
for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
it's not long or storied, but damn it, it's ours.
Yeah, but the thing that's crazy is because even then, like, so 20 years ago, people were still walking around on the sidewalk. Like now there's just this weird shit, especially like post-COVID, is like you don't really see people kind of walking around from venue to venue. Like, there's like the ride share, so people just get dropped off right there. It's just so fucking weird, man. Everything's so like kind of removed from like that random just running into people. Because it used to be kind of funny. Like I'd be like, where the fuck is this like vortex portal where all these people are coming from the 80s? You just like see these people with fucking teased up hair.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's
the
true.
fucking,
You see that all the
big,
time.
Yeah, the
around
big
here.
tongue fucking Reeboks and shit.
Like
looking
every
like,
night, like to be lines.
Yeah.
Of them. That's true. You don't see that anymore.
no, dude.
They
You
had,
see them in the venue, but like they just kind of magically fucking appear there.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck happened, man?
I love the dichotomy of that, and then just like the schlubby, fashionless douchebags at the Comedy Store that we are. Like everybody goes so hard for the music scene, and we're just like,
Oh yeah,
I wore my nice plaid tonight,
dude, for sure. And it's funny because like we do a show here like like once a month or something like that. But we'll go to like the Rainbow or something like that afterwards, right? And it's just like these dudes will come in, they're like around our age, and I don't know if they're in an actual like big band or just like fucking trying to work their way up, and they're like 40s rock star, hair's all fucking done.
Oh,
like,
you
they're
can't
fucking,
go back,
and,
baby.
and
You
their chick
can't
is
prove dad right. You
for
know?
sure, dude. And their fucking chick is like decked out, just like they're a matching couple. I'm like, damn, that's so crazy. Like, I can't even get friends to come to this shit. And you got fucking people dressing like you. This is a whole different fucking like just loyalty to that kind of fucking scene, man. Scenesters and shit, dude. It was funny though because there was a guy that was like that works at the Rainbow. And like just typical fucking like biker rocker looking dude and shit. And I remember like he was like seating at table. He's like a fucking manager or host. He's like, yeah, I used to hang out here all the time. Now I work here and I get paid to hang out here. And I was like, oh man, that's like how I want to work at the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Yeah,
no, there's some reverence there. I totally get it, man. I like.
But you're not gonna get past at the Rainbow,
right? No, exactly. Yeah,
you made it.
Yeah,
you're not gonna. Like, do you guys know Fraser Smith, like comic, and like he's been doing like radio DJ in LA for decades, and so he used to be just like the guy that was at the Rainbow, and motherfuckers would just like leave their EP at his table. He's just trying to have French fries and stuff. Like that day is done. You are not getting a gig at a restaurant. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, man.
They just did like a thing with Motley Crue. Like I think it was a few months back. They're doing like a residency in Vegas, so they did like. At the Whiskey and at the Roxy, they sold their tickets for like $8 for what they sold them in the 80s.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And they did it for, I think it was like a few days. They did like each one of like the nostalgic kind of venues around
That's
here.
gonna be crazy for them to fucking play those rooms like that they played like back when they were fucking like teenagers and shit. You know what I mean? Like, especially Tommy Lee, because he was like 17 when they got signed. Fucking
I bet
young ass kid.
those venues have not changed like fucking one
no,
bit.
It doesn't feel like it. No,
they have not.
No, they haven't put a cent into that shit.
Right, exactly. Like same monitors, same
Yeah.
fucking soundboard, all that shit. Like
Same fucking waitress.
I feel like that's like everything in this town. Just like all the apartment buildings. Like, nope, just fucking leave it.
Same
We're not
fucking
fixing
windows,
it.
dude. Yeah, for sure. Like,
Just leave all the same shit.
they didn't retain heat back in the 70s. They ain't gonna retain heat now.
Yeah. Not fixing anything. Just people will come and they'll just pay top dollar for it. Doesn't matter.
Every kitchen is just made for one 4'7" housewife.
Yeah. Exactly.
I bend down to fucking get something from the cabinet.
Fucking yeah.
Well, this is the moment where you get to plug all your social medias,
Hot damn.
all your upcoming shows. What is
Tell
Clay
our
Newman
tens
got
and
going on?
tens
with
of
the fucking-
fans.
yeah.
Just
Tell Eric's
guy.
mom and the rest of his family back in Wisconsin what you got coming up.
Well, when does this come out?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. So I guess first and foremost, if you hear this tomorrow, which is Monday the 8th, 9th, what's it?
9th.
Yeah, Monday the 9th. If you're in the LA area, scoot on out to the Ha Ha Cafe. There's going to be a show to remember Bay Area comedy legend Kabir Singh. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that dude. Just passed away in his sleep a couple days ago. Like rising star, almost first comic to win the America's Got Talent, and just like just ridiculous loss for comedy. So we're gonna have a benefit show. All the money's going to his family for the funeral costs. So if you can come by the Ha, it's going to be a really good lineup. If you want to see me, you can go to the Hollywood Improv on this upcoming Friday, and I'll be there for the late show hosting that bad boy. Everything else, just go to claynewman.com. Somebody, I don't know how to feel about this. Somebody had owned claynewman.com for so long, and they had messaged me like, hey, if you want to buy it from me, go for it. And I think they gave up on me because they just they didn't refresh the domain. They're like, I don't think Clay Newman's going anywhere. So I was able to pick up claynewman.com myself. Real easy to remember. I'm holding on to that bad boy now. So whoever that opportunistic piece of shit was, they gave up on me. I'll show you, man. We're at the Hollywood Improv now.
That's hilarious. Where can people find you, Tony Klein?
On this podcast and on social media at TonyKleinComedian.com or at Tony Klein Comedian on Instagram and TonyKleinComedian.com on the internet. Show-wise, I don't have show. I'm going out of town. I'm out of town on Friday, baby.
Doing holiday stuff,
I'm
family
doing
stuff.
holiday shit. You got to go see the family in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I
will probably be doing some spots in Milwaukee, so check the Instagram for that. Eric, where can the good people find you?
Find me also on this podcast. This podcast will be going live tomorrow on YouTube, the full video version, and then on Spotify, the full audio version, and then Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We do 60-second clips throughout the week. Get a little cliff note of our guests and our conversation. And you can also go to the ericandtonyshow.com to buy a t-shirt or a mug. You have a beer and watch the show with us and listen to us just talk shit. That's where you can find me and find these two gentlemen. And that's kind of it.
Hey, happy holidays.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you for being on,
Thanks,
on
Clay.
the podcast.
Yeah,
today.
nice meeting you, man.
Appreciate
This
it.
was
Yeah,
fun.
you too. All right. Peace.